today's edition of the program in the newsroom. Yeah, we have quite a number of topical issues of national importance to be discussed on the program today. And it will be recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari made a declaration recently saying that he will not interfere in 2023 elections. So, how he's going to do it in order to insulate himself from interfering in the electoral process, we'll find out when we commence the program. Then secondly, we are going to look at the recent comment by the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Kuka, where he was saying that Nigeria is in the worst phase of history. How worst, and what could have prompted him to make this remark is also here for us to look at when we commence the program. Then thirdly, we are going to look at the remark by former External Affairs Minister, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, in which he said that the solution to Nigeria's problems lies within. How could the solution lie within Nigeria? Or let's take it this way: Nigerian problems, the solutions within. Why is it that we have not been able to solve the problem if at all the solution is within? We are going to look at all these issues when we commence the program. I have my guest here in the house. Sheyi Adeniyi is with me here this afternoon. Sheyi, you are welcome on the program.
Good afternoon, Gary.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, President.
Yeah, Dayo Olanipekun is also here with me. Dayo, thank you for coming to here with us on the program this afternoon. Okay.
Thank you, Moderator. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
Yeah, you are all welcome. Now, to start the program now, I won't interfere in 2023 elections. That comment is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. Sheyi, how do you take this assurance coming from the President?
Thank you so much. I think firstly I want to make this clear that in 2015, May 29, 2015, when President Muhammadu Buhari was reading his speech, he made the remark that he made a statement that he belongs to everybody and he belongs to nobody. So maybe President Buhari is now trying to remembering what he said then, that he belongs to everybody and he belongs to nobody. Now, and if you now take the recent elections into consideration, you agree with me that largely the election has been, even as I judged as a fair, credible. As a matter of fact, I participated in two of the elections. I participated in that of Ekiti and that of Osun, and we agree with me that truly those that to be in charge, I mean the umpire, the INEC, was given the kind of leverage, the kind of windows to operate within the confines of the constitution and the act that established the commission. So and normally on a normal day, we don't need that statement coming from the president, because as a matter of fact, INEC is empowered by the constitution to conduct credible and free and fair election. So and without any interference from anybody. So it be you, the president, or the governor, or the chairman of the local, you are not, as a matter of fact, that day you are seen to be a voter. So not a president or the governor. So and for me, it's a good one coming from the president. Even if you have some that having a kind of hanky-panky games that they want to play before now that this is coming, and that's what we need from our leaders. Tell us, let us know what you want to, at least we should be able to hold you by what you said. So coming from him, at least at this hour, shows that 2023 is going to be interesting, and we are going to witness together.
Dayo, let me come back to you now. The president saying that he won't interfere in 2023 elections. Do you think this could be taken seriously?
Well, it's a good assurance. Thank you for having me on. It's a good assurance from that from the seat of power. We must believe the president, just like she said. But don't forget that only a few sitting presidents will take. Let's start from the electoral 2022. We'll say that which the Buhari has said, and we'll stand by it. If you see the kind of restructuring, well other areas, but give it to the president as far as the electoral 2022 is concerned. And don't let me predict, but I know that I know a particular president would have not signed that electoral act. Like he said, electronic transmission of results. Don't forget that the Senate and House of Rep initially wanted to, I wouldn't call it manipulation. They initially want to throw some aspect of the electoral act away. What Nigerians protested, the citizens went to, and I'm not very sure if the president did not invite the leadership. Look, come, this is what Nigerians want. Just party that will sign it, and they didn't sign it. You see, the electoral 2022 has so many, I don't know, innovations, so many things introduced that will make rigging, crisis, thuggery, manipulation, that will make it very difficult. An aspect is the transmission of results. You see, as beavers, as you are captured, and it's the result is, in fact, before the also mentioned Ekiti, Osun, and another election, you will discover that before the results were announced, honestly, not less than 80 to 85% of results have been known by people. Aside it. So let's give it to the president. That assurance too. Then when you look at, I'm sorry to say this, that a sitting president will tell the aspirants, go and campaign if you want to win election. Don't expect any abracadabra from the presidency or the sitting president, as we used to have it. You don't forget there was a president that will tell you this is what the person I want, and become the law. So he is a president that has not forced candidate on even the party members. If somebody who says I'm not interested in who becomes this, but if Nigeria says this, that's where I'm going. And I'm sure Buhari must have won the presidency. Look, don't intervene, don't drop my name anywhere. I have, like he said about the candidate of the party, he told them I belong. And we just pray the president is walk through to his words.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dayo. See, now if you look at this comment by the president, is that enough to guarantee free and fair elections in the country?
Cowley, I want to remind us of what happened in Osun.
Yeah.
For example, because I participated fully in that exercise.
Okay.
When the national chairman came to Osun, I was in that stakeholders meeting, and he told us that we should not, that the commission under his leadership will do everything to make sure that the election will be free, fair, and credible. Okay. Though we talked about area of vote buying and this and that, said the commission doesn't have power over that. Maybe as we move forward, maybe there will be a kind of another bill to that effect to give a particular punishment for those who caught in buying vote or selling vote. So that aside, but on the issue of credible election, I can say that that of Osun and Ekiti and Anambra, at least we should give it to INEC. And for Mr. President, let's not forget that Mr. President has been able to complete his 2 terms. Yeah. So, head of tail, he has nothing to lose. That's number one. So it's not that May 29, he's going back to his village. Now, even I said it that even if I have ways that will have leave this place and let me be. So you know that was show back like May 29 next year is going on. Yeah. And you want to leave a kind of legacy. And he said in one of his statements that what we have done, what his government has done, that he's expecting the president that will be coming after him to consolidate on it, to push it forward, at least to make the country more in the area of election. So I think we can rely on it. Though there are some statements, no doubt that sometimes we want to to think over it again. That see, can we rely on this one? But that of like Dayo said, and also for the first time, I will say election where politicians very powerful one. They became so powerless on the day of election. Because you know that even in your polling unit, if you try to create any wahala, that election that is all be cancelled. So you don't want your units to be cancelled. So they will become so powerless. So they just become gentlemen. So and this is what we should elections should not be a do or die affair, not be a war, it's not be war. So I think the statement comes from the president, in my own opinion, is at least something because of the factors that surrounds it. Number one, Mr. President is going home next year. So number two, he want to leave a kind of legacy behind that. Okay, after you left, you able to at least give it to President Jonathan. That's why I read this book, my transition hour. Some of his cabinet members were with him. Some hours before he considered defeat. Some people gave him advice that cancel this election now, make a pronouncement. Let's cancel this election, let's suspend it. We're just looking at them, but you know that Nigeria is bigger than him. Now Nigerians are the ones to dictate, to determine, to elect their leader. So the effect of that, because at least he has tried his best. So also President Buhari want to leave a very good legacy. So based on that, you can rely on that statement.
All right, Dayo. Okay, to what extent can the non-interference by the president guarantee fair election, free and fair election in this country?
Now, I've just said it. No doubt, Nigerians, either electoral commission or whatever, will no doubt study the body language of the president and the manner of affairs. And that's why, like you said, head or tail, since, and I will still go back to the Electoral Act. Look, that Electoral Act 2022 has some fear, planted some fears into the mind of our politicians. You know that if you steal the ballot box, if you destroy anything there, what it means is that your ward, your local government, your polling unit, it means you have no votes. Then one other thing I know Buhari would do, if passed, is the Electoral Offences Commission.
Okay.
It's before in fact, it has already passed by the Senate. Okay. It's seeking concurrence by the House of Reps.
Okay.
Whereby the candidates will be very, very careful and will really their lieutenants who want to foment crisis or who want to perpetrate atrocity, knowing fully well that nobody will cover you. Let me tell. I think if I'm not mistaken, Section 2 of the Electoral Act, I think 28 or so, 28, even went to the extent of cowing. I don't know how to do that. That as a voter or as a party agent, you cannot go before the tribunal to give fake information or to represent fake, to give fake news or fake evidence. My brother, it is 3 years imprisonment. If you are caught that the evidence you went there to give is fake, I think Section 28 of the Electoral Act, it is 3 years imprisonment. So everybody is being very careful. And so studying the body language of the president, the Electoral Act is signed, the Electoral Affairs Commission that is in the making, I don't think anybody will want to do otherwise as far as that the 2023 election is concerned. Knowing fully well that the president just said it, and like I said, let's pray he lives by his words. We'll get there. Right. We'll pray that Nigeria will get there.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Dayo. See, when you were talking the other time, you said that the president is about to complete his term in office, and he has nothing probably. Okay, now, could the statement have been prompted by the fact that he doesn't have any stake again, or he wants to leave a legacy for Nigeria?
The fact that he wants to leave a legacy after he left office is still a stake. Okay. And as a statesman, okay. Because as a matter of fact, if you are not successful, if you have a failed successor, if your success is a failed one, you have not as a producer, so you don't have any success to report.
Okay.
So I think he has very large stake as far as 2023 election is concerned.
Okay.
And you know there are a lot of reports, there are a lot of insinuations here and there, but the coming election. So I think having God has been so gracious unto him that what else does he want? He has attained that is the most highest you can seek in the country. What else again? So I want to leave a legacy behind that. This one we must get it right, we must do it. And he has started that since he signed that electoral act. I think it was 2 days ago. Some of my friends were discussing issue, and someone now said, "You see that the president didn't read that act before signing it, or he just want to at least."
No. It's not. See, it's not as if it's not as if it doesn't. He has, even if he did not read it, what's the role of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice?
Okay.
And don't forget, in the present cabinet, he has done as senior because Nigeria for six of them, even the vice president. So they must. It must. I want to take it that the president wants to be I want to say sincerity.
Okay.
That I would want to leave a country in crisis. Like he said, it means a lot. If having ruled for 8 years, and what you can only live for Nigerians is
disjointed nation.
not fully aware that our democracy, don't let this ourselves, is still fragile. And so I know it will be very, very careful. Look, what will I leave? What legacy do I leave behind? What will people say about me? Don't forget, as he said, we learned from level source that Jonathan left those who came to him not to announce, not to accept defeat. He left them on the seat. He went to his room and called Buhari.
Yes.
And today, whatever anybody will say, Jonathan remained a statesman, and he's been all over the world, monitoring election, being an ambassador, and to so many countries. That is integrity. And that is statesmanship.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We go on short break now. We come back after this time out. Don't go away.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Come back. Now to the second topic of our discussion. Nigeria in worst phase of history. Bishop Coker. Is Nigeria in worst phase of history?
It is. The question is as good as what Bishop Coker said. We know what we are facing in the country today. We only pray to God for you just said something about the electoral act now. We only pray to God that God should come and intervene and to come and help this country to get it right. Even in terms of Pastor Femi Emmanuel of Ilefe Spring, he said that even we pastor enough of praying. It's time to take action. If we lock ourselves inside this room and continue to be praying from now till eternity, nothing will change. God will not come from heaven to come and change anything. He has created us, he has given us everything for us to succeed as a people. So it is now there for us to now know what is right for us, what is wrong for us. So it's a matter of what Bishop said. As well, if I want to tell him and his other great men of God that the time is now. They know that they have stake in this country called Nigeria. Because as we speak now, if you look at our region, at least we still enjoy some relative peace and little security. We still have security challenges. Even in Oshu, recently we had, at least we read 2 weeks ago the kind of kidnapping that took place, even in Oshu. So it shows that the insecurity, as in fact, there's something we want to. If you have a very good plan, or if you have achieved in the area of economy, but with this insecurity, with this insecurity we facing presently, because as a matter of fact, before this government came in 2015, they promised that they should give Nigerians should give them 6 months, that they will get rid of this Boko Haram, finish coach them out, and this is over 7 years. We now have bandits, kidnapping, and other crises. So we are no doubt we are facing a very, very great crisis. So what Bishop Kuka said, very correct. But I want to tell them also that even other big men of God is also rise. Join this in making sure that we restore this country back to its glory. It's very correct with that statement.
Thank you, Dayo. Do you share the idea? If we say Nigeria is in worst phase of history, do you really think the statement is correct?
Well, that's it. It's 100% correct. Somebody even said, I've forgotten. I don't know. I can't really remember now. That okay, I think it was one of the topics discussed yesterday, Professor Falola, that the issue that led to civil war the signs are obvious, and even we are even surpassing what brought the civil war. Like he said, until maybe 2-3 weeks ago, when the president said end this nonsense, Governor Autumn seems to be vindicated that the issue of insecurity are being handled with kid gloves. Nigerians that are in Zambia, Nigerians that is in Zimbabwe, Nigerians that attend independence for some countries, Nigerians that fought in Sudan, Nigerians that fought and win wars, laurels, and unfortunately, it's our own security agencies that seems as if something is wrong somewhere. So aside the insecurity, brother, you look at even the economy. Inflation 90 point something, the highest in history of this country. Naira to dollar is no worse. Are we saying this house the country should be? The high rate of the price of goods and services extremely beyond the reach of the common man. The cooking gas, kerosene. I was just saying it this morning, 850 naira per liter. And what are you talking about? Nigeria is really, Bishop Kuka is very right. The worst in the history of this country. In fact, this country is passing through a very serious phase. And we just pray that God will get out, aside some, I want to say maybe 5-10%, as far as this country's population is concerned, who in this country will tell you can sleep with both the two eyes closed? Everybody has now become, my brother, don't sleep with two eyes. Anything can happen. The broker is very right. Very, very right.
Thank you. Sheyi, if we say Nigeria is in worst phase of history, and if we are if we are relating it to the issue of insecurity in the land, to me, the comments seem to be open-ended. Is it only in the light of insecurity we have in the country that Nigeria is now in the worst phase of history?
Every sector. As we speak today, how much is naira, the dollar to naira?
710.
So what are we now saying?
That's the truth.
And this largely because Nigeria we consume, we don't produce. So and our economy is based on dollar. So if you are having,
so how do you produce when farmers cannot access their farms? Farmers will have to start paying before they are paying bandits before they access their farms. How do you think?
Now last week I watched a video where somebody was a relative of a victim of kidnapping. Narrating this is ordeal because of this. He said they kidnapped 3 of their family members, and they requested for 50 million. Fortunately, all they could raise was 49 million naira, just because of 1 million naira. They killed one of the family members. Because of 1 million naira. Even the governor said kidnapping has now become a very lucrative business in Nigeria. See that statement. Kidnapping is now a lucrative business. See
it will become lucrative. Sorry, it will become lucrative because we are a younger brother who pays some people to go and kidnap his sibling.
Yeah.
We are an in-law, a young man who married from a particular family who organized that his mother-in-law be kidnapped. You now say that it's no longer about ethnic profiling. Whatever anybody will say, the issue of kidnapping, like he said, is not it's a very big business, and either we like it or not, it's everywhere and it's within us.
And as a matter of fact, I'm still challenging, or I'm still querying this issue of kidnapping, communication. I don't know where, like I said, I think it was not 2 weeks ago. As we are now, it is very simple if they want to trace me to this studio now.
It's an intelligent failure, and there are complicit.
There is a communication between the kidnapper and the family of the
There are complicit.
So what is now happening to our security apparatus? Most especially the DSS, the secret police. It is their duty to follow intelligence, to gather of intelligence report. So I need to be able to trace this communication, because they use one line, they use one phone to communicate. So now for them to cut that communication is whereby
there seems to be complicit, Mr. Moderator. Like there must be. It's like it seems some people are being settled because, like you said, I can be traced.
Very simple.
To spots where there are negotiations. And are we saying that it's either there is complicit or failure of intelligence or deliberate attempt to be accomplished?
All right. Now we have found ourselves in this situation, and to get out of it must be a collective effort. See, in your own opinion, what do you think should be the way out?
The way out is very simple, though very complicated anyway, because the problem we're having a complicated problem in the country. But the first one, what we need to do, we need to go back to our security agencies, and this has to go back to the presidency, because security is under the control of the president. Our security men must be, the first thing, the security apparatus must be fortified. And also, their welfare must be taken care of. As a police officer or as a soldier, if I'm sent to come and to go and face a war, or to go and, if I want to die for my country, I should know why am I dying for my country, and what is the benefit of me dying for my country. Yes, no doubt it's my duty, because what's the moment I joined the force, that's a particular thing that will feel. Now, but if I want to do that, there must be something that can must ginger me before I do that. So that is why before we need to take care of. And secondly, that's apparatus must be fortified, because like I said, I want to believe that accomplish everywhere. That is number one. And number two, the issue of the president must be come out to also give not this normal statement of when President Buhari came in, even in his inaugural speech, he mandated the chief of army staff to relocate to Maiduguri. I think the man just stayed there for like less than a month. He's working back to Abuja. So this also our leaders must be proactive enough to give directive, and the directive must be followed.
Okay, all right, thank you. Then, quickly before we round up on
let me tell you another truth. Nigeria is ripe for decentralization of police. That's the truth.
okay.
The era of a centralized police system is gone.
Okay.
Nigeria is bigger, is in terms of population. Look, even in advanced countries where we borrow this democracy, there are metropolitan police and some other. Look, enough of having a centralized police. Then there's what we call in Lagos neighborhood watch, and that is even brought down to this centralizing. I know you in my community, he knows me in my community. As landlord, we know ourselves. But where you post a Benue person to Osun to come and watch over the security, where does he know? So we need a decentralized police system. That is the truth. And we need neighborhood kind of police system. And the country will be good for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Quickly before we round up, Sheyi, aside the issue of insecurity, I mentioned it the other time. You looked at the issue of economy, whereby the 710 naira is being exchanged for $1. How do we get out of this economic doldrum?
Presently, anything that has to do with the economy is under the purview of the vice president. Yeah. And I think every month they do meet with the state governors. Not until, though there are a lot of things that also surround that, yeah. Not until we are ready to produce what we consume first. And before we can do that, there must be security. For someone that is going to his farm, along the way, he got kidnapped. So the government must produce security so that we be able to produce what we, and we must be able to look think outside the box from this issue of relying on petroleum on the crude oil every month. And we've done it before. It is doable. The issue of agric, we go back to agric. We have valuable lands. Even in my own local government, federal local government, from Ila to right governor, you see from left and right, you see very valuable lands that we can use to plant all these. And before you know it, even also can become a state that will be supplying other states, crops and other things. But not until we are ready to do that, we must look away from this issue of, and as a matter of fact, either we like it or not. If we are not ready to look away from the crude oil will depart from us. Because now that people are not, we are having now vehicles that are using light. You just charge and you move. As before you know, nobody will now buy your crude oil, and that is, we must be ready to go back to agriculture. We must revamp agriculture, and I think in my article that if I pretty want to the government let us know that area of agric this is not agric of paper. That just be reading people. No. It must be practical one, and people must be ready also to access soft loan to do this thing. And if you can do that, we will move out of it.
Okay, all right. Dayo, additional observation on how to get out of this economic quagmire.
Moderator, Nigerians must ask the current CBN government some questions.
Okay.
How do we get to where we are? One. Two, the chief of naval staff just made some revelations on who are those caught as far as all theft is concerned. Those are the things that led us to where we are. I'm still dazed why this government is still retaining the current CBN governor. I'm still dazed why the government is still retaining the current Minister of Finance. What? Until we're able to take the righteous step as far as governance is concerned, I'm not sure Nigeria will not remain where we are.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll go on short break again. We'll come back after this time out. Stay tuned.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. In the newsroom, you can't afford to miss it.
Yeah, welcome back again. Now to the third topic of our discussion for today. Solution to Nigeria's problems lies within. That is coming from former External Affairs Minister, Professor Bonaji Akinyemi. If the solution to Nigeria's problems lies within the country, why is it that we have not been able to find our way out of the problem?
Because of the lackadaisical attitude of our leaders, number one. And it is not that, I want to believe that, it's not that our leaders doesn't know or are aware that we have a problem. They are aware, they know, and just to provide solution, that is where the problem now lies. And for us as a people, I think maybe what is referring to the issue of those that went abroad to but the first thing is that you cannot solve Osogbo problem. Take for example, I'm apology to Osogbo. You cannot solve Osogbo problem at Oraibomina. It's not possible. So you must stay in Osogbo, solve Osogbo problem on Osogbo land. So, and this issue is very simple. As we speak today, we have the most brilliant, we are the most, if not in the whole world, Nigerians, we are very good, very brave, and we have people of high intellect that can do things, but unfortunately, in the area of leadership, we seem not to get it right. And this thing is not something that we need to go on until we go to UK or go to US before we can do it. All of us, we live here, we know what's happening here, so we should be able to identify the problem. We identify the problem anyway, but to now provide solution, that is where we are having the problem. We talk about the issue of insecurity now. We have Chief of Army Staff that's in charge of the Nigerian Army. We have IGP, the General Police that's in charge of police. So I should be able to give us, and we have Director of DSS. So these people to tell us, give us what is happening as far as insecurity is concerned. So if you are not able to tell us, if you are not able to provide a very satisfactory answer, response to all these problems, the next is you ask to as you say that you honorably leave the office, or you ask to step aside for another person that can do it. But not until we have this political will to do what is right. That is why you have a problem. Okay, that you said something about, you mentioned the CDM governor. This is a man already, and you saw it, that he openly declared that he want to run for presidency, that he branded a lot of vehicles, and nothing happened.
Because of lack of sincerity, our leaders are not sincere. You recall that of recent the vice president of the country and the assistant I'll be saying we have seen how excellent Nigerian doctors are. It's to tell you that you have done a long way in this and so. It's like neocolonialism. You are not gotten ourselves if at any point in time you rush abroad, it means we are still the Western mentality is still there. We are talking about Greek. Which are Greek? We will go to London to land. If Nigerian doctors are the best abroad, Nigerian engineers are the best, and we read from them. If Nigerian professors are outside the country as visiting lecturers, who says Nigerians are not even better than where our leaders are running to for everything? Go to Dubai, go to France, and go to do what? When we have child, are we saying there are no homegrown solutions that can have under the roof there? Must we go outside the country? It's a mentality. That's the truth. The mentality of subjecting ourselves to Western world. I think the mentality is still there.
All right. Sheyi, now if you look at this comment coming from former external affairs minister, then what are those things that we're supposed to do but left undone that now made us to get to where we are today?
The first thing is our leader, they've not been able to provide or to give us good leadership. Because if you have good leadership, I don't know the last time US president or prime minister of UK come to Nigeria to settle their crisis here. So I don't know, and these are leaders that they do travel, if not on weekly basis, out of the country. Go to these countries, they see how it operates, the operator, they do that, even how they run the democracy there. Even when we borrowed our own democracy from the US, they see how they do it. But now to come back home to replicate what they've seen or what they were able to discover there, that's the problem. As well, it's not our own problem. It is not Kai's problem. It's not our problem. It is their problem because they are the one to give us this leadership. He said it. Ordinary common malaria. You want to travel out of the country to go and treat it. It shows that even you don't believe in the country that you are governing, or you don't believe in the country that
that's what it means.
To from.
That's what it means.
But if you believe in that, for example, give it to Professor Jonas Subadu. He has everything within his cover to travel out of the country to go and treat it, to undergo that surgery. But he insisted that it must be treated here. And
it's fine.
Yes, it's different.
It's okay.
As you speak now, he has traveled.
It's okay.
Went to attend to the official issue.
We didn't believe it. We have Nigerian leaders have not believed in this country. That's the truth. It's like paying lip service.
If you believe in it, we have
must you go outside the country to must you get out of the country to do every little thing? In fact, the one they did recently, I call it political tourism. That you have to go and discuss Nigeria's issue outside the country. Are we saying there are no solutions? I'm still asking the question: are there no homegrown solutions that we can find to our problems? Must it be Western world? Must we suggest that to outside world for everything we want, for every challenges, for every problems?
As a matter of fact, that meeting they went, I queried the meeting. Where I got that, where I felt disappointed is when I saw Baba Obasanjo there. For what? How we do all this? And the so-called governors, the Governor Wike, Governor Otom, Governor Ipazu, they came back to address the press that they are consulting.
Look at Biden's cabinet. If you see how many Nigerians are in Biden's cabinet who are economists, you feel sorry for our leaders going to that place to discuss. Biden, the current US president, has not than 5, 6, 7 Nigerians in the cabinet who are special advisors on economy. So what are we talking about?
They now came back when they are consulting.
Consulting who?
We went to the UK to consult who?
Consult who?
I couldn't imagine they see they want to we have a problem. We have to
go to Budukabutu ranch across River State. Peaceful environment where you can gather instead of wasting money to take care of somebody's economy outside when we can do better here.
Okay, now before we round this on the program, see the way you are talking now, are you now recommending the total overhaul of our leadership in this country?
As a matter of fact, that is my calling. Because as a matter I've been saying it. I was born some 40-something years ago, and the moment I came into this world, to Nigeria, as a matter of fact, I thank God, for making me Nigerian. That's the one. But unfortunately, the time we came in, those of us that came early 80s, late 70s, we came at a very wrong time. They squandered everything before we came in. I said we met nothing on ground. And since then, we have been the ones that have been suffering from it. And as well, I've taken it upon myself to call those that I can see they understand what we are saying. That the right thing for us to do is for us to challenge the leadership of this country.
See, before you take us to adult to task, let me send you to your class. Okay. That they must refuse to be used as thugs. Your people must refuse to be used to perpetrate electoral violence, shooting, crisis, ballot bag snatching. If you say the future, if you say the future of it's not tomorrow, it's now. Yes. If you must take over governance, that's my advice to your
as a matter of fact, that one I will none of my articles I will write that will not include that. Yeah. don't be a negotiable instrument that Nigeria youth, don't be a negotiable instrument in the hands of politicians. If you say the politician today that is giving you a very good accolade, you are this, that, it's just because it's
ask them to be their own children too, to come and act as thugs.
Say for example, 2 days ago, a friend, someone just called me that he needed an assistance, that his brother has been arrested, the station ID. What happened? He said, I don't know. Okay, let me speak to the person. Was caught. He said I was shooting.
Did you shoot or I was shooting?
They said the court gun. Do you have gun? I said, if you have gun, please excuse me. I cannot be pass to that.
Those of them who have voters card, those of you who have voters, they must not keep their voters card. They must allow their voters card to speak.
Okay.
So that is the issue of leadership. The youth must now get involved in the mainstream of politics.
All right, this where we are going to part on this. On the note of advice, youth.
Sorry, before you do that, I will now even I will send. You are sending a message. Apology. I will send that to his their own kid as well.
Okay.
That they should please honorably leave the stage for us now, before we now face ourselves.
Powers is not taking just like that.
Yes, we do everything to take it back.
Yeah, a very beautiful advice. Youth do not be a negotiable instrument in the hand of politicians. Now, this is where we're going to round it up for today. Sheyi, thank you for coming on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, Dayo, I appreciate your call.
I'm always in the news too.
Thank you. Viewers at home, I just have to apologize for the technical issues we have in the course of the program. Also, we have issues at hand before the commencement of the program. But thank you for staying tuned with us. The program will be back tomorrow and better. Until then, I am Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. In the newsroom, you can't afford to miss it.
Bàbá òun là kérò ọ̀nà. Eléyìí ni mo fi ń kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀ sí abala ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣètì wa tòní. Eléyìí tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun mú wá fún wa. Pé kí gbogbo wa ti kéré nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ká lè gbé wa ọmọlúàbí wọ̀ bí ẹ̀wù. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣètì wa tòní. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ iléèwé òun mà ló bá wí. Gbogbo ọmọ iléèwé bẹ̀rẹ̀